and welcome to another edition of XFeed. My name is the Schiller, and we have the other page merch coming in. Appreciate the guys for hooking me up for that. If you haven't seen, there are starting to be communities and websites and tools that are being formed specifically for ecosystems. And if you happen to be within the Yuga one, that includes Forgotten Runes Wizards Cult, obviously all the Yuga collections. And if you're wanting to connect with other people, be sure to check out this other page and make yours today. And I'm excited for today's show because again, we have about 605 tabs we need to go through, but the topic that I want to discuss immediately here is Raoul Paul makes the case for storing the majority of your wealth in high-end NFTs. Now, it hits a little bit different when you have somebody that is older than you, at least in my case, go on with a massive following and really trying to push this narrative that, generally I've kind of been really bullish on NFTs overall. But listen to this. The audio is a little weird on this, so you'll hear it in one ear and not the other, depending on your setup. But here's 40 seconds of Raoul Paul making you bullish on NFTs.
Think about this, and I think a lot of people go through this, which is like, okay, I've made some real money out of this. How do I think about it? And once you've got a few houses, there's not much more you can do there. And it dawned on me that it's going to be the high end of NFTs. Because
for some,
yeah, I just see that recycling of capital, because it happens in the TradFi space. As soon as Stevie Cohen gets rich enough, or Noam Goddard, my boss, gets rich enough, all of them, they all end up buying art because they don't need any more fucking $100 million houses because they've got enough of them. So they end up buying art, and it becomes their big storage of wealth. Think about this.
Wow. Listen, I didn't know the full clip had a swearing in there. If you happen to have children in the room, apologies, but still high-end wealth going into NFTs specifically. Very interesting. What you see here is free money. These Doodles wearables are obtained for free when you onboard the studio, and they're selling like hotcakes. So we talked about the Doodles 2 a little bit ago, and what was the conversation around it? Well, okay, where's the mass onboarding? What's the other, like, I just don't see it in my timeline. I've seen a few people post like the characters that are supposed to be a part of that, but they're saying that if you onboard with the studio, you get this. So is this something that I should be going out and I can do right now? If that is the case, I feel like I have not been aware of such a thing, but still, this is flow, and this is just representing like dollars. So the grayish white hat going for $12, grayish triangle clogs $5, and then the crew neck that is, of course, grayish going for $5. But again, if that's what you got for free, still signing up, getting $30, that's not too shabby. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens with Doodles. A lot of interesting activations happening with them overall. So let's do a little bit of a market check. Back on the 6th, which is 3 days ago, Jesse said punks and 4 at base collections at the top of the OpenSea charts on a Saturday, based on having fun this weekend. So Degens by DOY, it was at 0.08 ETH, and based punks were 0.73. So as I typically say with the show, we get to, look back and see what's happened from the original hype. So base punks 0.73, they're currently at 0.51, so that's a drop off of about 0.2. And then the Degens by DOY, this is looking like it's going for below 0.02, but at the time of this, it was going out for 0.08. So again, another massive drop off on this. And is it narrative waves that we're going into? Do people actually want them? Is there something that happened after that initial hype, but 3 days later, surprise, both of them have taken so much of a tumble? If you guys remember way back in the day, the Chimpers, I realize my screen is kind of cutting this off. Apologies. But The Quest for the Diamond Fleece is an epic 6-part adventure story featuring, for each episode, owners would submit their apes to be included in Timber's art, and the excitement wanting to read the next chapter of the story and see who was featured was unmatched. So back in the day, again, this is actually like an entire scene that moves here, and the artist just went out and said, hey, everybody wants to see their ape featured, and built something off of that, and then including going on to build Chimpers as a whole. But people don't realize the craziness that was early of people really, really feeling that attachment for their apes. Obviously, the market's doing really well. We have Top Shot and everything else going on, and people are vibing, just wanting to, enjoy the art in their way. And so these things were going for a lot to get within the Diamond Fleece. If I remember early on, I wish Kaz was here to break it down, but they did several different ones. And so if we scroll over here, these were the apes that were submitted within that first sector. And then if I'm going to need to scroll down, we can see this next one, and this was the second edition of it. And again, it looked really cool. And even at the time, I was like, damn, how in the hell do I get my ape featured in this? And the art was just, it was sweet. And this was the first one when there was some other collections involved. So Pudgy Penguins, you can see the cool cat in there and some other Pudgies, and then it started expanding. But still really, really cool early origins of chimpers. I totally get the attention economy, and all the attention is good, but pissing off a DJ that is considered cool by many is not the best strategy. Whatever, I don't care personally. It's one thing to piss off Gary Gensler and another to piss off someone in Culture Deep. So what the hell is this about? Basically, there was people at NFT NYC that got like a fake marshmallow hat, and they went in Times Square and they pretended that they were DJing to try to, I guess, like bring attention to this meme coin. And so Marshmallow ends up actually responding, being like, this is stupid, my lawyers are on it, and then doubling down in terms of like, I understand crypto, parts of it are cool, but this stuff of people are doing, faking, trying to bring attention using my IP, this is dumb. And I agree with the take here from Jonah. I don't understand why the hell they did it. Like, okay, cool, you have for a day, but we have all the stigma, all the negativity around this space, and I feel like that one doesn't necessarily add to it. And Ben here adding, Web3 already has the persona of being scammers. To them publicly to do a stint like this just further harms public perception. Truly! But what maybe can bring that back is when people spend almost $100,000 American on an NFT, one of the special Takashi Murakami. I guess we'll call this grails. CloneX is going for $91,000. Pretty insane. So this on-chain pill NFT launched the other day, priced at 0.04, and someone highlighted that this is basically the exact same thing as BYO pills, but of course it's like pills, and there's, I mean, I guess how many different ways could you design these, but I don't know what's going on with BYO pills. Has anybody gotten that collection? Are we vibing with it? What's the thoughts? Bored and hungry. Probably seen this all over your timeline. Apparently a chili verde, just like Bildo Verde. Going in Mexican food that bought over this location. And let's try to see if we can find out the origin story of this. Apparently, it was only supposed to be open for 3 months. Technically. And then we have Andy saying, happy 2-year anniversary at Bored and Hungry. Today we say goodbye to the original Bored and Hungry location in Long Beach, California. We also want to congratulate our partners from Asia, Hungry DAO, a branding and franchising company who has acquired the brand from us. So does that mean these guys are gone and these others are taking over? It just seemed kind of odd, but I mean, maybe I guess somebody really thought, hey, this is great, let's build it even more so, to a point that Decrypt Media even did a story saying the first Bored and Hungry restaurant inspired by Bored Ape Yacht Club is closed, but the crypto-friendly eatery is still pushing forward. Not going to go over the article, but still very interesting. Now, okay, Hotshot was one of the guys that was outing Lucas, saying, oh, he was a scammer, all these other things on a Twitter space forever ago, and I have the video uploaded on the YouTube channel. Both parties were interesting within that debate, but still, if you weren't there, I feel like it's going to be hard to find that Twitter space, so if you want to see it, you can, but Hotshot, I guess, is like, what's the right wording? A Zach XBTT type individual. But anyway, they retweeted this back from 2022 saying 18 uncomfortable truths about the NFT industry that'll put you ahead of 96% of people. So let's see what he says on the first few. There are no reliable, stable investments in NFTs. If you hear the term blue chip NFT, run away. That aged really well, but I saw somebody else out there and they were saying, yo, these blue chip NFTs are about to go for a run. It works every time. Yo, what's going on, Bill? How are you? We got to bring that up. I don't know if I saved that tweet. Remind me at the end of this, because I feel like I didn't bookmark that, even though I should have. Number 2, diamond handing won't get you the best profits. Number 3, to stay in the market, you have to pay yourself first. Take profits on the way up. Derivatives rarely outperform the original NFT collections. By the time you hear about a new project on Twitter Spaces, you are late. Well, that's great, because what we're into, sometimes nobody's even talking about it. It's great. You're responsible for your own security. Understand most projects don't audit their code or have Discord security. Again, we kind of know this stuff. I don't know. Does knowing those few things put you ahead of 96% of people? I don't know. Maybe. Forgotten Runes Wizard Cult, we're seeing more and more things have an actual physical, tangible, we'll call it real world asset as a part of what they offer. Forgotten Runes Wizard Cult, this is the inside of one of their comics recently released. I think it's kind of cool. This parallel clash with Hearthstone shows just how hard the innovators in the space have it. They don't get to just be a great game that people might try. You also have so much stigma. Godspeed. Thanks for working on these barriers for us. People that are watching here, we're kind of open and down with it, but I'd say like 90% of people still do not love it, like it, or want to get involved whatsoever. I can't believe mutants used to be $100,000. So the conversation yesterday around Luca Netson saying, there's going to be multiple NFTs that are over 100 ETH. Okay, so I mean, we've seen massive collections do this before. A lot of people are out there saying, apes this, apes that, and we could do this for any collection, right? There felt like an immutable sector for pudgy penguins, right, when they hit 20 ETH, and then when they went down to 11 ETH, that rhetoric between the two parties and online kind of went completely to the wayside because everybody was like, is this all leverage? Is this all airdrops? What the hell is going on? So this is interesting. Congrats to Swamp Gaming. This is huge. Welcome to the Swamp, Miro FN. So this Swamp Gaming, I guess, is formerly Congarna. And so my understanding with this is Congarna used to be an esports org similar to the likes of like FaZe Clan, but obviously not to the pedestal or involved in some of those massive leagues, but ones that are under that they were involved in. And they made a pitch that I think we actually watched the video of to ApeCoin DAO, and it got approved. So now this gaming company is doing Web3 stuff, and it's powered by ApeCoin. So shall be interesting to see, but we're getting more and more people. Again, 300,000 Fortnite Championship Series winner in the Web3 space. Not bad. Yo, money talks. Nothing wrong with selling. Not hating the player here, just the game. NBA Top Shot Series 1 moments are selling for $2 as Top Shot user pranked, already up $5 million plus. Holy shit. Keeps liquidating. He's sold over 10,000 moments in the last several months and bought 0. Top Shot and the early adopters. This was always a very interesting thing. I'm surprised that he's not completely sold out, but the fact that he ended up making 5 mil from that, and only 5 mil, you have to remember how massive some of the portfolios were from individuals that were on the site. But adding to this, on the heels of Andy taking his 1.5 mil and leaving, why doesn't Dapper buy back instead of Roham buying multi-$1,000 legendary moments? That's an interesting take. We've seen Roham on the timeline going and buying these grails, but of course we've seen that across the NFT space where we'll get to some massive ones, and we saw the Clone X one earlier, but having those big sales does give kind of eyeballs, where sweeping the floor and being like, hey guys, the cheapest moment is $3 now. I don't know if that moves the needle, but maybe a $10,000 NBA moment selling. Maybe it'll catch a few eyeballs. Justin Turner from the Toronto Blue Jays, right? Gaming plus ApeCoin news is what I like to hear. Hell yeah. Love to see it. Or hear it, I guess. So Justin, Ripple CEO, predicts the crypto market cap will double to $5 trillion by the end of 2024. So I mean, we're not necessarily halfway through this year, but very interesting for such a bold call, especially right after they were making the talks or made the announcement about them doing a stable coin. Obviously, everything with the Bitcoin ETF seems to be going well. Crypto adoption relatively seems to go in well. I don't see any massive FUD or negativity on the timeline that could derail things right now, except for like certain frameworks or like limitations within it, right? Like you can only spend this amount, or, hey, we're investigating this certain aspect, but there's not really any immediate threat. You know what I mean? Like it feels like everything's just kind of going as per usual. But I saw Richard Hart this morning making a huge post about how the government's trying to ban crypto, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know if he's talking specifically about the US or a certain point in the world, but I don't know. I feel like the winds are good. So this is the guy that originally got me on the notion of NFT finance, like the conversation of like what is NFT finance as, you know, DeFi or as a sector like real world assets, AI, etc. So he says PFP NFTs are not dead. Liquidity is migrated to meme coins, but when the meme coin market gets saturated, money will flow to markets with a higher yield potential, i.e. NFTs. NFT Fi will pump enormous amounts of liquidity into NFTs, making them more liquid and more versatile assets. I guess most of the leverage right now is like strictly people that were farming blur points, but you know, how many more variations of that do we get that people trust and want to be a part of? Chris Clay, who's a part of Gods Unchained here, game director, weighing in on the parallel TCG happenings as of late. I joined at Immutable to work on Gods Unchained a little less than 5 years ago to make headway on disrupting the gaming status quo of trapped value and rented assets. Parallel TCG is taking another swing at the status quo, and I'll support any disruption there. Good luck. So apparently today, Gods Unchained is doing a expansion, and that's cool. But my thought, I guess, with the whole trading card game aspect, and originally I got into Gods Unchained. I streamed it a few times here. You might have been here for that, but this was a while ago, and it was fun. But one, it felt like I got bored of it rather quick, and there wasn't like a whole lot of depth to it. And then two, it was, all right, what if this isn't like the trading card game that takes over, or there's one that's better? And it's awkward because you're like, I want to support the Web3 gaming side of things. I want to get into these games, play them more. And then you have this trade off of, do you end up spending extra money to get into it and actually compete? How long is it going to survive for? And that's what's so special about things such as Pokemon or Magic the Gathering. When you go out to those, you know there's already a massive user base there. And the nostalgic and just the history that it has pretty much makes it so those ones, sure, you might end up having lesser value to it per se, or lesser players over time, but there's still just such a large number of people that are interested that it's worth your time, right? And so now we're going to have to go through this with the gaming cycle of, hey, is this game going to be worth putting that extra money into? Do I like it? Is there something that comes better? There's so many options. The saturation is endless. Ready to launch your Doodles into space? Truly! What do we got here? Space Doodles launching instructions in English. Okay, let's go down here. First up, how to safely launch your Doodles OG to space, written by your very own. We have to read this. A brewy. That's insane. I'm pretty sure you just go to like the Doodle site and then set it to space. That's insane. I think I have a better breakdown here coming up in a minute. We'll go back to it. So we had people that are now highlighting how, whether they're in the mall, they're taking an Uber, people have the crypto charts up and watching. FaZe Bank's doing a little bit of a funny here, highlighting the Prime, and that driver is not going to be working for Uber very long because Prime is going to do great, right? And I just think that it's funny that like this is actually happening. We sit here, we do this, we talk about the things, we dealt with the bear market, we dealt with, you know, all the conversations around everything, and then your day to day, it starts popping up in your real life, and it makes it different. Where, you know, you're at your house, you log on your computer, open your laptop, go on your phone throughout the day, you connect. But when you see it in person, it's different. Kieran Warwick, the founder of Illuvium. The conversation around Parallel is hilarious. We had the same thing when Team Liquid, who's a big esports organization, showcased Arena, which is one of the Illuvium games. And I think it will be even worse when our multiplayer version comes out. Mainstream will see the light, but we need multiple more games to enter the fight. Agreed. Because if somebody doesn't like one game, well, they can just FUD the hell out of it and then go to the next one, and then maybe people love it. Who knows? Everybody's different. To the Doodleverse and beyond. Here we go. Here's the details. I thought the one before was going to be good, but it was garbage. Doodle space explorers have been flocking to the cosmos in droves. Their destination is still unknown, but a mechanism that tracks each fleet's daily space miles has been discovered in the studio. What could it mean? And so for anybody that's on audio, it has a little bit of a leaderboard where it shows on the far right space miles and then the tracker, and it says Space Explorer number 1, number 2, number 3, and then just like the position on the board. How it works: the rarity and count of commissioned space explorers in your fleet will inform your daily space miles total. Duplicators serve as a daily bonus for your space explorers, providing small but mighty energy bursts. So we're seeing these NFTs having a different type of utility. The traits are coming into aspect as well. As you can see here, Doodles OG, the rare trait, special heads, hand-drawns, a couple different ones, and then also for the duplicators, it's just the simple of 3. Beginning April 10th, the Space Miles tracker will update daily to show which intrepid space explorers are leading the expedition into the Doodleverse. Who knows what mystery and treasures await those bold adventurers? Ready to take off? And then you go in there and you can check out the thread for this. But, okay, why are they doing a leaderboard? Is this going to be more NFTs? Is this going to be real life offerings, rewards? Is this going to be a token launch of their own for Doodles? We have to think and say, okay, we're continually seeing collections trying to reward people that are active, whether it's through Discord or otherwise. And Azuki made a point system. Futureverse obviously has a point system. Cool Cats has a point system that incorporated a whole bunch of different things. And we're seeing Doodles here, and this is their first kind of crack at creating a point system. And this could very well be like a soft staking type deal, but they're just not flat out saying that, hey, we're doing a token, but we're out here speculating. Parallel, another big prize pool coming through. We are excited to formally announce the debut of the Parallel League. The Parallel League is a global tournament series with a prize pool this year of $500,000. The league provides major tentpole events as well as sanctioned satellite events that will earn players prizes, points, and glory. These events all lead to a final epic clash, the Prime Champions Tournament. So, if you're into esports and you see, within the Call of Duty League, Overwatch, and you're seeing what teams come together, they house their players, they enter them in tournaments, trying to win, what is it, $50,000 to $100,000, sometimes more for a grand final, to have a prize pool of $500,000. And obviously, these are individuals and not an entire team you have to care for. That is a lot and very, very juicy and going to attract people. Even if you might think that it won't, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how many people go full-time within these things. Smack Talk, what the frig is going on, brother? We're thrilled to announce we've joined forces with CTIA Limited to support our expansion in Japan, says Futureverse. They will help us bring Japanese anime IP with its rich culture, heritage, and game content to the open metaverse. Futureverse having a lot of connections in it. It's crazy. Xcopy getting absolutely swept today. I think Raoul Paul probably causing some well-deserved FOMO. I think Raoul Paul might be like the biggest influencer within the space right now. I know that we had Gordon Goddard sweeping and buying NFTs right now, but we saw the massive influx of people jumping on Xcopy after the other day. He said that he was the main artist after this Mutatio stuff, and we're just seeing him talking more, and he's, I think, appealing to all the different crowds. All the different crowds. Yo, Bill, do you see the thing? Apparently, it might not be 30 mil. If the Prism sale doesn't even sell out, it's not 30 mil. How crazy is that? We might have been telling all these people a lie about that we're giving away 30 mil. That's crazy. We got to go over that in a minute if you haven't seen. This is going to happen with every blue chip NFT. We were just told a minute ago that we shouldn't call it a blue chip and to run away. I was talking about it with people in NYC. Everyone is watching their favorite NFT collections, and we all think they're good prices, but nobody wants to be the first to ape, so it's like a huge game of chicken. I mean, respectfully, half of the NFTs, right, when they call ETH Blue Chip, the 0.4, that's like over $1,000 a pop. Everybody just sitting there being like, yep, I'm going to sweep $10,000 worth of NFTs. Probably not. But eventually, like today with Xcopy, there will be massive sweeps as the first Chads start bidding with 0 Fs a given. Yo, Smack Talk coming through with a sweet 5. Sheesh. Peace. Yeah, brother. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. If Bitcoin and ETH keep rising and people feel rich again, there will be absolutely another NFT rush. Agree. If people have the money and they're like, ho, 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 we're chilling, we're enjoying, and we are winning. Calling all Rangers. It's time for week 10 of creator rewards. Alluvium here, having something that's designed for content creators to inspire, come out, converse, talk about their collections. And I guess the prize pool is 1 token, which I don't know how much Alluvium is. If we go and check that out, maybe that's a lot, maybe that's a little. What the hell is how do you spell Alluvium? Alluvium price. This is a tough day. $123, $128. Okay, so that's not bad. You got 5 of those. Somebody made an absolute bag for doing content. And again, we're going to see this more and more and more and more. Plus, farming materials for basically any game material world paper is pretty wild and stoked for what's to come. Agree. Remind me, I might forget. I don't know. I have too many tabs. So this is cool. Call of Duty Warzone yesterday during the solar eclipse actually made one in game itself, which is kind of cool. And true, Bill, though. We're going to get to that in just a moment. Kind of weird. I don't know what's going on with these collections and doing announcements that like don't really give any details. It's kind of sus. Anyway, if you haven't seen, I guess Niagara Falls made a state of emergency announcement a few days ago with how many people were going to show up to watch the solar eclipse at the hotel rooms. Apparently, people were canceling hotel rooms. What they thought was going to be great ended up being complete overcast. They couldn't see anything whatsoever, but oh my God, look at all the people getting off the train. That is crazy. Ronin is the only thing growing in crypto that's not associated with meme coins. Is this a take that you agree with or disagree? I don't know. I do feel like there's a lot of people that are going over to like the meme coin landscape and messing around with there. I don't know anybody personally besides the guy that we interviewed the other day that was into Pixel. Like, I don't know anybody that uses Ronin. So if you use Ronin, let me know. So it's a very different geographical demographic, I think, that's using Ronin, but still crazy that it's growing the way that it is. 42 ETH for a trippy ape. 154,000. Apparently there's some story about he got fished before and now he's trying to trade a trippy for another trippy. Kind of crazy. Bear Snake from Forgotten Runes Wizard Cult. Over the next few months, we'll be rewarding Forgotten Runes supporters, contributors, and holders in more than a few ways, some of which will be quite unexpected. Maybe a token. This will be a transformative period of time for the project, and it's starting very soon. 3 years in, and it feels like we're just getting started. I am gonna friggin' lose it if I see another person say that we're starting soon, or it's just getting started, or it's just beginning, or we're at the beginning of the race. I feel like everybody's saying this right now, so either it's true or it's not. But everybody I know is saying that, now is the time that we're going to kick things off. So we will see how big of a crazy month that April is. We're almost already halfway through it. Did some digging around on Blur Farmer accounts. Only about 5 Bored Apes are in farmer accounts now, making them almost farming free. BAYC may have finally bottomed out. Is this too good to be true? Do we actually have it where the Blur Farmers no longer hold the supply of Bored Apes? I doubt it, but back about a year ago, look at this. Blur crypto airdrop farmers are propping up entire market. Well, that aged fantastically. Did it not? Did it absolutely not? Only 406 views. That's crazy. Now, speaking of apes again, if you happen to have one, it looks like Futureverse and Aaron McDonald are doing something with apes. And you can get your ape featured if you want to reach out to him. Send him a DM. He'll ask for your number. I don't know if they're taking everybody, but he responded to everybody saying DM, so we'll see on that one. Well, this is kind of cool. So we talked about Play Ember the other day, and this is what some of the game actually looks like. Not too complex. It's kind of got the Guild Wars 2-esque vibe. Not too many skills with on here, but it looks like it's a WASD on the keyboard for moving around. But we'll see. Does Play Ember Sword get the attention it deserves? Blue Jays 2023 versus 2024. So this, if you watched an MLB game ever last year, this is what it looks like. You gotta love Pizza Nova. But now this year, holy sheesh, we have a huge ad. We have the TD, the brick wall. All these seats are like over $1,000 individually, Canadian. So maybe a bit less than 1,000 American, but damn, these people are making cash on games. Okay, Chris Gonsalves saying, I'm sick of gamers calling every Web3 game a scam. Which trading card game would you rather play as an aspiring pro? One with hardly any earning potential and cards have zero resale value, or one where cards have value and you can choose to monetize your time playing? So this is actually a relatively good point, because when you go out and you get like a card pack, I mean, half of it could just end up being bulk and not be that great, right? And online, even like, let's use the Top Shot as an example. Even though the floor price is $2, dollar, whatever it is, it's still something. To be able to sell an actual like bulk land card or something, you need like 1,000 of the cards to do that. So the blockchain aspect is kind of interesting, but the added take here from Chris Clay, the guy who we just looked at a minute ago for Gods Unchained, if they admit that there is a better way, they also have to accept they've been getting duped for years. No one wants to feel taken advantage of, so it's just much easier to just demonize the new way. We see this pattern repeat time and time again with humanity. A lot of people, you know, Wizards of the Coast is garbage. Your card quality's going down. Yada, 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 yada. I remember. This went completely by the wayside the other day. I didn't see anybody bring this up, but yesterday there was a CryptoPunk sale for $1 million. Zombie, 320 Ethereum. Saw it on my timeline, almost nothing. I saw it this morning. I was like, oh, that happened almost 20 hours ago. Why is nobody talking about it? ApeCoin update regarding the Ape chain development. It's progressing well, including the selection of an RAAS provider being imminent. Additional details will be announced regarding timelines, specific funding pathways for launch day apps, and ongoing ecosystem development proposals. In any event, the ApeCoin community is always free to utilize the standard AIP process if they so choose. I mean, how quickly do they create this chain? How quickly do different things get on board with it? I feel that at this point, early on, there was a lot of room to get ApeCoin integrated in a lot of different games. Now, partnerships, the mass saturation of NFTs is met because there's mass saturation of different people developing for the blockchain. I think Ape can still do well, but there was definitely a window where they probably could have gotten a heavy market share of things that were in the works to launch. They still can, but we'll see how it unfolds. I watched a big Hearthstone streamer yesterday, and he spoke about how his most important priority is just to make an income from which he can pay his bills while he's not taking any sponsorships. Then people in chat said, you should do them. The first thing he mentioned was NFTs. Should he just take it? That's where money is, I'm hearing, by his words. And the first game he mentioned immediately was Parallel, and that he's curious about it. Okay, so this is about Parallel, but you could input any single NFT game that has like a genuine play-to-earn model that is somewhat sustainable, right? Because you have to think, for the people that are out there that are doing these Twitch streams, there is people that are like barely making it by, but if they jump into NFTs, they can make an extra couple $100 here and there from playing on those games and the audience doesn't leave them. Well, that just makes a hell of a lot of sense. And so when you start understanding the different positions of people and what's emerging and also what's like retracing at the same time, where we're seeing esports orgs and leagues and all this having, you know, just kind of craziness going on, while these opportunities are happening elsewhere, where are people going to go? Talk to an NFT project founder who said they're making more money trading meme coins than running their company. Well, I mean, listen, some people are doing great on meme coins, so not surprised. They haven't shipped anything for holders in months. way, dude. Sad to see, but not super surprising. I mean, there's a lot of questions about everything within Web3. So, I mean, I get it. I'm assuming that's not a copy pasta. But yeah, meme coin. A lot of people getting into meme coins and doing well. I think. I see my only comment with meme coins is like, if people actually like really made it with meme coins, I feel like we wouldn't see them on the timeline. You know what I mean? But I'm still seeing all you people on my timeline. Exciting news. 1inch introduces the Web3 debit card in collaboration with MasterCard and banks. Now you can seamlessly use your crypto for both online and in-person purchases with the added convenience of cash withdrawals from supported ATMs. Ooh, Web3 debit card. We're getting a little spicy. Jiho's highlighting this mint that is happening. It happened earlier today, but it's called Hydro. And we can read the comic. It's a Ronin Network partner. Clan Battles game. Sign up for the wish list now on Steam. So if we scroll on here, this is a very like retro feeling game off of that like quick clip there. We have a mech. Scrolling ahead, and then we have kind of these boss fights. It feels like a retro arcade game, but it's made in 2024. I feel like it looks different enough to get people's attention, but also the way that it kind of just looks like a spam clicker to destroy things. We'll see what people think of it. But either way, if you've not been paying attention, Hydro, the new thing on Ronin Network. This is highlighting again earlier, as we mentioned, that trippy ape, I guess they got fished, and now they're trying to trade that trippy for another trippy. That's crazy, but respect the hustle. Illuvium and Samsung. What? Illuvium X Samsung, bridging the digital and physical worlds. Leaders in entertainment join forces. We partner with Samsung to bring Illuvium to homes around the globe. Get ready for the collaboration that combines the best of cutting-edge technology. So this blog post read like ChatGPT wrote it, so let me know what you think. I'll just read this beginning here. In an era where the line between the digital and physical increasingly blurs, Illuvium proudly announces a partnership with Samsung, a titan of innovation. This collaboration is not just a meeting of minds, it's the convergence of two universes, each at the forefront of their respective industries. This partnership combines Samsung's unparalleled technology with the breathtaking universe of Illuvium. It's a testament to the power of collaboration and promises to introduce our community to a new dimension of engagement and immersion. As we blend Samsung's innovative technology with Illuvium's intricate world building, we're not just bridging two worlds. We're expanding the boundaries of what's possible. The fusion of these universes promises to enhance your Illuvium experience, bringing the virtual and real into closer harmony. The journey ahead is charged with potential, and we're just scratching the surface of what this partnership can unlock. Stay connected as we explore the infinite possibilities born from the collision of these two worlds. I don't get what the hell that means. Is this so like every time there's a Samsung TV in a store, it's playing an ad for Illuvium? Is this saying that Samsung skins are going to be within Illuvium? What the hell does this mean? All these partnerships across the space, and I don't even understand. But I equally also don't understand people still paying $100,000 for NFTs. What is going? We've seen 3 NFTs go for over 100,000, one for $1 million just on today's show. Scrolling, imagine what else is out there. But one of the gold pudgies going for a bag. Just to let people know, NFL All Day is doing, or how it's doing, banner year moments haven't been updated yet to include plays from the playoffs. We're in April, and the collectibles are just sitting empty. Pretty sad. So I don't know what they mean by the banner year moments haven't been updated. Like, are they just saying that they haven't released any new moments from the playoffs? Because if so, that's really weird. Obviously, NBA Top Shot's really quick with things now, but NFL All Day not having anything since the playoff ends? That seems a little suspicious. I'd be making more content right now, says Alex Becker, but how many ways can I say A, hold AI and gaming coins, and B, do nothing? And ladies and gentlemen, what have we been doing for the past 4 months? Absolutely nothing. Woo! Hell yeah. All right, RWAs, real world assets, is one of the biggest opportunities this cycle. BlackRock just launched a tokenized fund. Tokenized assets are set to hit 10 trillion by 2030. If you're still sleeping on the sector, now is the time to wake up. Now, they go over a lot of different things in here, but I'm going to save this for tomorrow because we're already approaching almost 40 minutes here, and I'm trying to make these a little bit quicker than the full hour. MoonPay is out here. In this thread, we're unveiling our collaboration with Base, the layer 2 incubated by Coinbase. And just to go back for a second here, real world assets, we're going to try to be covering it a little bit more because I think that is going to be a big component, but I've just not seen any of it on my timeline, so I'm going to need to research just a little bit. But back for MoonPay here. Do you remember when MoonPay facilitated all of the ape trades and MoonPay got these massive evaluations and the CEO made an absolute killing, but MoonPay now has this persona or recognition in the space of these are the guys that made Apes Moon, and they had the contacts, so they now have this notion about them that they're able to move markets. And so, similar to how we've seen some influencers go out there and do some wild things to get the attention, well, that's kind of what MoonPay did, but now they're doing a collaboration with Base, and it's now available on the marketplaces in the Base ecosystem. So if you want to go fund your things through MoonPay, you are able to do that. But this is just bringing more and more liquidity to the space, easier onboarding, offboarding, etc., etc. Now, speaking of onboarding, get on the friggin' yacht club because we're going to Lisbon, October 2024. Pack the boat. Not sure if you guys are feeling like going to Lisbon, but that is where Ape Fest is going to be, and that is just a few months away. And if you don't know where Lisbon is, it's the capital of Portugal. Portugal is next to Spain. Here is my map for my fellow Americans. Well, I'm Canadian pretzels, but thank you very much. So there you go. Now you know. Oh my God, I almost forgot. We need to go over the material world. I am a material girl. Okay, so this was an announcement that happened this morning. Who makes an announcement at 3:29 a.m.? I know they're in New Zealand, but I don't think I've ever woken up to an announcement of this epic proportion at 3 a.m. Anywho, discover our latest vision paper, Unearthing the Material World, Revolutionizing Game Economies. This protocol will enable seamless sharing of materials across digital realms. The Third Kingdom will lead in testing this game-changing concept. Okay, so what the hell is it? I'm not going to read all of this. I'll probably do like a separate video that's just like an upload going through this, but we'll go over like the first 2 or 3 paragraphs. The material world is a concept of interoperable game economy protocols. Let's restart. The material world is a concept for an interoperable game economy protocol that allows in-game materials, items, and recipes to be created and shared across game worlds and digital experiences. So think of how, in RuneScape, you have GP, you have woodcutting, you have fishing, you have all these resources. And then if you go to Guild Wars, you have all of these things where you can mine, you can do these daily activities, get these points, etc., etc. What if those worlds were interoperable? Kind of crazy, but this is what this is going for. The material world is a data layer set to enable users to collect, refine, craft, trade, and distribute items and materials, offering developers the opportunity to integrate a validated economic catalog into their game systems that include both creator and user-defined standards. The Third Kingdom will set the stage to test the concepts of the material world alongside the community. So, virtual game theory. In the expansive digital realm of interactive games and experiences, players find themselves spending valuable time and energy mining, farming, trading, and crafting resources that contribute to discrete game economies and communities within isolated game experiences. While this may be rewarding in the short term, as soon as a game or game season falls out of support, makes me kind of think of Diablo, these same players find all of their time and progress lost as they move on to the next game or game iteration. The open metaverse opens doors across platforms, digital worlds, and economies, where user-owned content and data drive experiences and applications. With Futureverse technologies built upon the interoperable framework of the Root network, we seek to disrupt previously established era-defined boundaries between game worlds and allow builders and communities to participate in bridging the gaps, dividing the materials, items, and resources generated within. The objective is to expand on our existing efforts in character and accessory interoperability, whilst advancing the groundwork for an open and interconnected realm of materials and crafting items. This entails proposing and validating a system that allows players to seamlessly transfer their painstakingly collected inventories between their favorite games, applications, and virtual worlds. Okay. Basically, TLDR, these guys are trying to make an entire game economy where they're having it where instead of you go out and you pay a construction company to build a house, you have the assets and it's all done digitally. And you have to go out there, use your assets, mine the coal, craft the recipes, cook the chicken, do whatever the hell it is, right? And it sounds almost impossible, but that's, luckily we have the strength of AI at our side. Don't forget to mention that 2% of the prisms will last for all seasons. Truly. Yo, Dip Collector, how in the halibut are you? So the other thing that they made an announcement with, that it had kind of a mixed reaction, and I don't know. I'm kind of like 50-50 on it. It feels weird that we didn't know the information ahead of time, but I mean, anyway, let's go over. So, Eternal Prisms of Mastery. Basically, they have 2% of the supply goes for these Eternal Prisms. And these prisms are used to put on your land to extract the resources from within. People are thinking that certain land has a cap on the resources, but this is not only going to be for the root prizes, this is going to be for that material world where these resources and things are getting created for that first time that other games can build on top of. And so the power for it, it's maximum, the performance affinity for all industry types, and the life cycle is non-consumable. So the thing with the prisms is these are consumables, and there's supposed to be many seasons of them. So if you happen to mint one of these prisms, you're able to use it again and again instead of having to pay let's just say that it stays at about $100 per prism. You don't have to do that in future seasons. And then if those prisms end up going for a fair amount of money, then yeah, you're chilling. So either way, we are seeing a very interesting time within the Featureverse ecosystem. Obviously, these shows, we've been trying to cover the space as a whole, but Surrealscapes could get very interesting, and we might end up covering that significantly more. When we check out the buy side, we're at 63% sold. It's felt like it jumped about 2 to 3% in the sale since that announcement, so it has made people feel the need to, want to go out, maybe spend a little. Are we going to spend a little? And at the same time, I open my accounts, see the social feeds, and the world is just going crazy as it usually does. So I don't know what to expect. Again, it's the election year. It's, everybody's wondering about reports. Apparently there's things that are supposed to be announced within this week from different collections to from collections to protocols to airdrops to everything else. Like, the liquidity in the space should be absolutely insane. We'll see if we end up seeing a Rippa, Dumpa. I don't know. I don't know. We're just here having a good time talking about this stuff. I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you want to like the stream, maybe share it with one friend.